Hi, this is going to just be a quick update here, just towards the strategy I'm building. Um, Here we have just a good example of a signal on the price action, and then subsequent follow through with price to the downside here. So just to update on the indicators that I'm using, I'm just using this line regression candle. So by taking off the normal candles here, and just using the line regression candles, you can see it's basically smooths out like a Heinkanashi type of candle. So just hiding off the regular candles here, we get much smoother price action, and that's what we're looking for when we do our entries here. Um, and the entries are done by just basically a UT bot alert here. So if we go into the regression settings here, um, I just made the pivot line basically white, and then made it a bit darker. And then for the signal smoothing settings, it's 7 and 11. Um, then when we go to the auto Fibonacci here, that's what we're trying to catch on the 618 as it declines here. This is just a regular Fibonacci we can use as a reference here. We'll get back to that in a bit. But for basically the buy and sell signals are the star UT bot here. And when we go into the settings here, they're just set to 2, and the ATR period is set to 1, and style and everything is just kept the same. So again, 7-11 for the linear regression candles, star UT bot is 2 and 1, and then for the Fibonacci auto Fibonacci settings here, they're pretty much just staying as default here. I'll take off delete the last line just so I can get some more back price action, but that's not necessary. The one that really needs to be changed in the default settings is I think it starts out at 7 or something, or 3 on the base one, which is just way too fast for me. So I set the deviation to 5. The rest of them just keep them as default here. I also like to add in the 0.707, just because that I find is also a key tipping point, and it's right in between the 0.618 and the 786. So here, just on my regular one, I have the 0.707, and with the 5 deviation. So the rest of these, they're just kind of hidden for now. So just using these 3 indicators plus the TTM Squeeze, we'll show you how this all lines up here. So I'll just remove this default Fibonacci, and basically this is the width and breadth that we're trying to capture here. So when we go into replay mode here, you can better see. And this one's just left normal candles for default, just to compare what's going on here. And as you can see, what happens here. So we'll set the beginning of this time period here, and we'll just move forward. So these are the Auto-Fibs automatically pricing action in, and then once we move forward, they'll change, and you see why the 5 deviation is an important key metric, just to make sure it's keeping pace with the price action here. So immediately we get this switch over, and just on this side, you're seeing it basically in this range here, and then as we peak out, it's going to hit the 618 like pretty much to the penny, and then just reverse off of that. So as we move forward here, the Auto-Fibs are filling. We don't actually have to manually input anything. Sometimes I'll change the settings from a 5 to 7 if I'm really not seeing a back refill, or I'll just take out my Fibonacci tool and just do it manually, and sort of chart it like that over top if it's not doing the Auto-Fibs. But for the most part, I'm really impressed with how the Auto-Fibs are really showing good price action, and keeping up with how the chart moves. Okay, so here immediately you see the sell signal, and that would be our entry here for the downwards trade. And it hit that 618 almost to the penny here. Because it's sort of like a Heinkanashi price action, it doesn't really show too well. But on this side, if we pull out our Fibonacci tool here and we pop it over, you can see that it comes into the 618 as the price action moves. And I'll just remove this so it's not as cluttered on the other side here. So we'll see what happens and the kind of follow through that we get just based off this one sell signal. And we're only taking signals that have a good action. Rejection of basically the 618, the 707, or the 786 Fibonacci retracement. And that's how we sort of filter out these moves, because we wouldn't take these buy signals because we really don't have much of a pullback here. Yeah, from here to here, you could say there was a bit of a pullback that resulted in this buy, but we're looking for the larger moves, and that's why we use the 5 deviation on the Auto-Fibonacci indicator here. And so as we move down, you can see basically this trend doesn't really break over the white line here, which is kind of our stop out zone. If price action really violates that line, then we want out of that trade, but you can see it just coasts down even further here. A bit of challenge to it, but ultimately it falls through here. And as you can see, basically with the sell indicator, we're lining that up with the TTM squeeze as well. So you're seeing it roll over and onwards to the downside, and that's also how we're capturing it. So again, the points we're looking for, basically, does it hit that 618, 707, or the 786 on our Auto-Fib? If it does, and then it starts rejecting either to the downside, or if this was an up move, then we would take a buy signal because it's getting some stiff resistance in that area. And we're just also lining that up with the TTM squeeze. So again, does it hit the Fibonacci? Are we getting a sell signal? And is it rolling over on the TTM squeeze? So those three confluence of events here, we know this is going to be at least a decent trade we're looking to take. And basically how we would set this up in terms of an actual trade, basically that would have been your entry. As soon as it breaks below that white line and closes below that, that's where our entry is, and that would have been our stop loss. And then basically we'll see how far that goes down here. So if that was even our target, we just break through that. And that's about where the price action ends, basically in that zone. And then it should follow through up to the upside here. But as you can see, that was a pretty decent trade here. And the Auto-Fibs just coming in and completing there, looking for a next move higher here. So as you can see, basically just risking this much here, we would exit out of the trade if it the price action started to sink, but then ultimately rallied above this pivot high. We just close out the trade for a small loss here. But as we're holding the trade, you can see basically getting a risk to reward of 12.72, which is fantastic. And this is a sort of rare trade, but it caught my eye, and I just wanted to document it. And the indicator should be listed in the comments below in the description of this video. And I hope that helps you guys. And this was just a quick update on basically where I am at with my trading system and trying to get it automated. Thanks for watching.